Hello everyone. In today's video, we will be solving two common problems in Cursor. Firstly, model provided invalid arguments and unrecoverable agent model looping. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So let me be straightforward. The solution is very simple and easy. All you need to do is to simply copy and paste this text, which can be found in the description below, into cursor rules. If you already have a rule, then just add it. If you do not have a rule, then just create it. Then it's done. So let's try to send the same command again and see if it is working now. Okay, you see, it is working absolutely fine now. But do not leave if you are curious about the principle under the hood. Let me explain a little bit. Then we will go through the solution step by step today. So from the error message, we can see that actually the connection between cursor and the model is fine. The error is simply because model provided invalid arguments for toCall. But surprisingly, I found that cursor is working fine with my website project, while it does not work. It is not working with my Android project. So my thought is like that. There must be something different between the responses from these two projects. So the first step is to figure out what is happening on Earth between cursor and the model. Actually, I have tried several methods. Firstly, I tried to use Unrecoverable to catch HTTP packages. I have also tried other tools, but I found that it was very hard because cursor does not directly post the request to the chatbot. Instead, cursor would start a WebSocket connection between the cursor client and cursor server. And all communications are done through this WebSocket, making it much harder to analyze the packages. So I tried another method. I created a fake server, just like OpenAI itself. But in my fake server, instead of returning a reply, I stored the post body into a file. In the next step, we need to deploy this code to a server and give it a domain. I have a dedicated Ubuntu server, so I have finished the deployment process, and I will skip it for now. If you do not have a dedicated server, you can just use free service like Netlify or Vercel and use a free database to store your JSON file. Then, after getting our domain, we need to go back to the cursor settings and models API keys. So turn on these two and replace your OpenAI based URL with your fake URL, which is here. And for OpenAI key, you can just input any random string and then send the request again. You will get some errors, but that's okay. But a request body will be stored in your server now. I have got these two request body. The first request body came from my website project. The second request body came from my Android project. Then the second step is to replay these two request bodies, meaning send them to your chatbot again. So in here, I'm using an OpenAI compatible service provider. Okay, now I've got my responses and I pasted them into these two files. Firstly, let's analyze the difference between the Android reply and the web reply. Sometimes the model may return a different message because of the temperature here. But if you try it for several times, you should get a similar reply like this. You can see that in the website reply, my model tried to read a file, which is test.py. But in the Android file, my model tried to read two files, which are Gradle and versions. But here's the problem. In Cursor, the model can only read one file at a time. I'm not sure if Cursor supports parallel toCalling, but it is obvious that it doesn't support parallel file reading. So we need to modify our command. If you are sure that the cursor supports parallel to calling, then you can remove this line, but keep the first line and the first part of the third line. Okay, so up to now, the problem is solved. So this is the end of today's video. If you find my video helpful, do not forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.